Hey guys, welcome. Once a week we're doing A to Z of flavours. So this week is butyric. Last week you did acetaldehyde, which is nice. We're going to talk through the flavour, talk about some positives, where it comes from, and ultimately, what to look out for. Okay, let's go. So we're going to start with positives, which I know is a weird thing if you're talking about butyric, because everyone instantly thinks of a negative. But bear with me, okay? So occasionally on courses, we train people and they've not heard the rumours of butyric, of baby sick, of vomit, of horrible things. And we'll say to them really quickly, get in your nose, you're gonna get like chocolate, beautiful Bailey's cream, something like that. And that's because butyric is present in chocolate. It is present in some nice things, particularly American style chocolate. So you'll find like your Hershey's has that kind of tangy note to it, which when you're enjoying Hershey's is really pleasant, but the same flavour, if we describe it as baby sick, you're going to be repulsed by it. Okay, so what does butyric taste like? I already told you. No, I'll do it again. American style chocolate, Hershey's, etc. Some people say Parmesan cheese. The descriptor that we tend to use the most, and the one that people talk about in tap rooms or talk amongst friends, is baby vomit. Reason for that is butyric acid is formed inside a baby's stomach after they've ingested milk. Okay, so not a nice thing. Nobody wants baby vomit on them. It hangs around for ages. It's on your clothes, etc., etc. We use the icon for a baby, which is here if you zoom in nicely. And that's our main descriptor. Cheers. Butyric acid is formed as a result of bacteria growth that you definitely don't want in your beer, bacteria such as pectinitis and megasphaera, and it's going to come about in a couple of times within your process, within what you're doing. The first time is going to be hot side, so work separation in mashing, maybe you've got a stuck mash, something like that, or maybe that you're spending too much time, there's a problem downstream, so you're having to hold up and temperature might drop, your time's going to spend there, and you're creating an environment for this bacteria to thrive. If your butyric acid is formed at that point, you're going to notice it within process. So we're going to try and recommend that you do sensory throughout the process. That might not have to be completely formal panel. You might have to pop down and just try your vessels regularly, stop go gates or go no goes between moving around. So that's your first time. So post this kind of production point, the other time that you might find it is going to be more in a packed product. The reason you may find it there is to do with hygiene issues within your canning line, your bottling line, something like that. And that's going to be due to the growth of bacteria around your megasphaera, your pectinitis. It could be in your can filler heads, the cans themselves, maybe they're in stacks and something's got inside the can, so it's important to rinse properly. The general problems are all to do with hygiene. If you're not looking after your equipment properly, you're not cleaning it regularly, you're not cleaning it vigorously enough, these things can hide in little corners, little nooks and crannies, and get involved. Something important to watch out for if it is in this process is that it may not be in every single can or bottle, keg, etc. If the reason was one can filler head, then that's one can filler head out of 12, 24, etc. So one can might taste great and the other not so much. So it's important to keep lots of retention stock from the beginning, middle and the end, and also to do rigorous sensory on regular cans or bottles. Butyric is, whenever we try it, it's the prime example for us normally of hygiene. You've got to look after your brewery, you've got to clean it down, and you're not going to get these issues. So your nose is a really great way of spotting it, and it's a very fast way of spotting it. But we couple that, of course, with really stringent micro, really looking after, checking constantly as you go through. To my example about cans or water, the other thing you've got to watch out with butyric is that it might not be batch wide. So you might pick up a can off the line, have a go, absolutely fine, tastes perfect, tastes delicious as you do make great beer. but it might be in every 5th can, every 24th can. So it's a really good reason to keep decent retention stock, and try your beer regularly, basically, because just because it's not in one can doesn't mean it's not in everything. How do you assess for butyric in your beer? The prime time in your tasting cycle, your assessment cycle for butyric is going to be for the covered long sniff. That's not to say that you should always just go straight in for the long covered sniff. We always recommend starting at the beginning and working your way back. So we're going to go with more gentle drive-bys, small sniffs, 1 second, 2 seconds. But the prime moment for butyric is going to be with a covered sniff, build up a little bit of aroma in the headspace, and then get in for a longer sniff, which is going to be when it's most present. So if it's there, that's when you're going to get it. Okay, so to look out for. A couple of little notes about butyric is that it is worsened or more perceivable in the presence of diacetyl alongside. So if you've got 2 problems, it's going to be even more noticeable. And it is made less present or less noticeable in the presence of ethyl butyrate, which is produced by fermentation.